Hello everyone, welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay. This one's going to take place on Zelnaga Caverns. I'm spawning as the blue Terran in the bottom left-hand position. And in the top right we have a red Protoss by the name of lots of vowels. Galianan. Okay, there's only one N, but those A's are silent, and by silent I mean they make N sounds. So that's exactly how you pronounce it. Alright, so we'll speed it up a touch, and early scout by the Protoss, sending out his pylon probe. Always good to just tap that Zelnaga, just in case you catch like a unit running by for some cheese. I mean, you run so close to it anyways. And getting inside my base. And I got a nice surround. I kind of go for that surround a lot more often now, even sometimes when I don't run through into my mineral line. Sometimes I'll try to cut them off here. Because as bad as I was at Warcraft 3, you can't play that game without learning how to surround units. It's just a necessity in that game. So scout number 2 arriving, and let's see what he's seen so far. I don't think... No, he has not seen my expansion. One of the advantages of your expansion being so far away on this map is that they can't see it when they run by. So still having no idea what I'm up to, which is making him go second gateway. Not sure if that's because he expects some sort of proxy cheese, or if he just sees, oh, he's got nothing in his base, I'm going to rush him. So, but either way, he went for second gateway prior to Cybernetics Core, which is not standard. However, he's not building from his first gateway, so maybe some sort of 4 warp gate, where he waits on the warp gate technology and the Stargate going down. Interesting, interesting. Myself, I'm just doing my standard build, getting my bunker up, starting with some Marines. And 3 barracks, and then putting my guys back on gas. However, I spent my gas I had left over on Weapons 1, which is typically okay, but it means I didn't have enough gas for stim once I finished this tech lab. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to have to wait a second, and then over that split second I had to wait, I completely forgot to get stim. And as this is a fragile build, we're going to see that minor mistakes can be very, very costly for me. No stim, and stimmed Marines is the way I counter Void Rays, so this is going to be rough. A little proxy pylon down the bottom here. Whoop. Let's back that up and we'll slow it down. So he did go for like 4 gateways and then waited for warp gate technology, and then got the warp gate technology again here. And Stalkers and Void Rays is a deadly combination because the Stalkers does very well versus Marines. It also obviously does well versus missile turrets. So it kills everything that I use to counter the Void Rays with. So the Void Rays do all the damage, and everything I try to counter the Void Rays with is taken care of by the Stalkers. Like right there, he's able to quickly snipe that missile turret down. So picking away at my engineering bay, I don't mind that too much because I don't really need any upgrades at the moment, so it doesn't matter to me. Again, no stim here. The stim would have made all the difference in this attack. Down goes the bunker, having to pull some SCVs. Reinforcements coming. That Marauder out of there. Ah. And the Void Ray barely survives. So bring up production tab. And this is something you're going to notice. Obviously I'm not perfect at this, but I'm a lot better than what I used to be. When I'm under pressure like this, I always make sure I'm doing some focus on my macro as well. Like, Micro the battles with saying, am I making SCBs? Am I pumping for my barracks? Am I making SCBs? Am I pumping for my barracks? Now when I say I'm kind of doing okay, you do notice I get supply caps here. I did not notice that. But it is something you have to concentrate on. If at any time I wasn't getting new reinforcements out, any one of these attacks could have run me over. Still supply capped. Yeah, it felt like I was like queuing up on my barracks. I'm like, why aren't they making any units? And I finally realized I was supply capped much later on. This is not a big problem. I don't mind losing that refinery. Hey, supply depots! It's about time. Yeah, also fast-teching towards Vikings. I know Vikings are going to be a really hard counter to the Void Race. Kind of abusing the lack of range on the Fortress here, although he is getting hit with some pot shots. And charging in and forgetting my Marauders, which is always bad. I'm going to at least try to snipe the Void Ray off. And yes, barely take it down, even get the Zealot. And then just transferring all his SCVs back to my main base for now. I see him trying to swing around this way, so I try to come off. I got a Stalker with only one hit left, and I didn't go for it. Well, at least he didn't kill my Marauder that only had one hit left. The problem is here, I don't have medevac, so every time I stim or take damage, that's damage I won't get back, whereas if the Protoss flees, he gets to regenerate his shields. Two more Void Rays and a lot of Stalkers. Say goodbye to that missile turret. Now another kind of flaw in my decision making here. This is where I'm like, okay, I just need to throw down some more missile turrets, and I go to make missile turrets, and I'm like, I guess I actually did need that engineering bay. I forgot that's a prerequisite for missile turrets. I was just thinking I don't need upgrades, but yeah. So I am completely lacking anti-air here, and I have been concentrating a little bit more on making Marauders as I knew Vikings were on their way. In the same way he uses the Stalkers to supplement his Void Rays. Once I got the Vikings to take out the Void Rays, I get the Marauders to supplement the Vikings as they can take out the Stalkers well. Did I say that right? Got the Vikings to take out the Void Rays, Stalkers to take out... Sorry. Marauders to take out the Stalkers. Luckily I was able to scare him off with 3 Marines. Of course I always wasted a stim. Maybe it was best I didn't get the stim, as I seem to be wasting stim a lot. That's a joke, obviously. I would have been perfectly fine if I had stim for all this. And a lot of Zealots. Looks like he's going to try to snipe this planetary fortress. I've quickly move all my SCVs to repair. And finally got my first handful of Vikings out here. It looks like the Protoss is actually doing a worse job than me at macroing and attacking at the same time. You can see he's not producing any probes at the moment. Maybe this is more of like an all-in play where he's just committing to win now or die later. Finally got another engineering bay down, so I can work on these missile turrets. Wasting 2 Marines. I didn't actually see the Stalkers underneath there. They're kind of hiding. I'm pulling over some Marauders just to snipe out the Stalkers. Hopefully, yes. Okay, that was a good trade. And the space is pretty secure now. I kind of like that missile turret placement. That should cover everything I need covered. And where my army is non-existent, at least I have the tech I need, and I got my 2 bases up where he's just getting a second base now. So trying to get like a mix of Vikings and medevacs. You don't need a whole lot of Vikings. I mean, if you want to get quick kills, you do, but you can just annoy the Void Rays by cutting them, moving forward and back, forward and back. Oh yeah, another mistake I made is I made all these extra barracks, but I forgot to add them to my barracks control group until just recently. So for a while I had 5 barracks and was only pumping from 3. Well, of course when you supply cap, it doesn't really matter how many you pump from. This is the kiting I'm talking about. Just take a shot, move back, take a shot, move back. Next patch, Void Rays are going to lose their speed upgrade. You're still faster than them even with the speed upgrade, so you can still kite them, but it's harder when they have a speed upgrade. It doesn't look like he has a speed upgrade right now. Oh, like Flux Veins or something along those lines. Looks like I got a lot of gas banked up. Probably because I'm so late on my tech and had to go so heavy on Marines. Kind of messed up my typical build order. I guess you should probably pay attention to that sort of stuff and try to adjust on the fly. If you're building up too much gas, throw some of your gas guys back on minerals and vice versa. Although, if I'm going to have a problem, having too much gas is a problem I don't mind having, because it's usually the opposite, and I can definitely find ways to spend gas. Namely, ghosts. I don't really find it fair how Protoss can run around with like 10, 12, 14 Templar, and I gotta make do with like 3 ghosts. So hey, it'd be nice for me to actually run around with like 10, 12 ghosts. It'd be fun. So, I have a feeling he's pulling back and probably trying to macro at this point, so I'm just kind of trying to stay ahead with my own macro and at the same time building up for my push and taking out the proxy pylons I know about. So he cancels his high yield. That makes a lot more sense now. I remember arriving here and seeing just a gas. I'm like, I don't understand, is that like a scout gas or something? I guess that's kind of unique. So it's always a good idea to clear out your third if necessary before you move out on your push, because I like to set up my third as I push. Did totally forget about these units the entire match, which is pretty bad. I mean, that's a lot of units. This is the way I like to do it on Zelnaga. I factory block this back lane, keep these rocks sealed, maybe make a building over here, like a missile turret or a supply depot, and then take this as my high yield and keep my army right here. And that way this army can defend this high yield base, it can defend the run by towards your natural, and you got a barricade to buy you time if he tries to come at you from the side. So I do move up, clear that gas, just kind of feint forward and then move back. It's always good because from his view, is if after you kill a unit, if you feint forward and then move back, like when he loses this, he still gets like a second or two of sight and he'll just see you rushing forward. So he'll think you're incoming and you'll probably maybe spend a lot of money on units and then delay any tech or probes he might have had in his mind at the time. So now I got my 1-1 upgrades, I got my ghosts, got my medevacs, I think I'm ready to go. My army did seem a little sparse, that's because of this, jeez. I guess it's always good just to kind of double check things, like double check, oh hey, I only got 2 on gas here, there's something I should probably fix, although, you know, at this point it doesn't really matter. Supply capping myself. Oh, not for long. I got too spidey. I was about to finish. Not a big deal. And yeah, probably should seal up those gases now, because now that I got a high yield, I'm probably actually going to be pulling up more minerals and gas, so I can spend this really quickly. Also should be throwing out a lot more barracks at this point. I think this is definitely a point in the match where my macro slips. I just got like, hey, it's attack time, let me forget to do everything else. But that's okay. I think I had enough of an advantage early game. And with a nice EMP here. Boom! Oh, look at that. Almost every single sentry and an immortal. Even caught a couple of his void rays. Sorry, this is a little choppy, and I'm not quite sure it's with my computer right now. Just because I haven't rebooted you for a week doesn't mean you should be slow. Oh no, wait. The opposite of that. Alright, so there you have it, and a little review on this match. Yeah, I did scout the Stargates in time, I believe, so I was able to get this missile turret up, but forgetting stim is huge, because you really, really need stim packs to snipe these void rays, and without stim, they can just like flee too often and recharge those shields, and it just makes it like one void ray turns into like 4 void rays so quickly. And of course, always trying to stay on top of your macro at the same time. Like, yes, you're defending, but at the same time you got to be constantly making those SCVs and pumping from your barracks. And of course, any desperate points in attacks, always pull in SCVs if you need them. If you wait until you've already lost your army, it's too late to pull your SCVs. SCVs on their own will not do much, but SCVs make great tanks for your existing units, as they will soak up the damage and let your Marines and Marauders do the damage output. Yep, so pretty sneaky attacking Protoss here, although his macro is absolutely terrible, and he kind of went all in on this push, so once I held him off, it did make for a very easy win. And yeah, I think with that, we'll call it the end of this one. Thank you, everyone.
My patience is limitless. Release the interceptors.
Alright, for today's thumbs up fact of the day, I'm going to show you a bug that exists in Shakuris Plateau. This is the bottom left-hand base we're looking at here, and just at the bottom of their destructible rocks, there's something special with this space right here, in that it can actually fire missiles at people. Okay, that's not exactly what's an exploit with it. It's actually a 2x2 square here, where if you build any building in this spot, it's completely invisible. I can't select it, I can't attack move it. Nothing to select there. I was able to select it while I was producing it, so I do have it selected right now. So I did build a missile turret in that spot.
Loud and clear.
And yeah, that's a bug in this match. Obviously something I would discourage you from using in a real ladder match, but something cool and interesting nonetheless, so you can mess around with your friends with and a fun match, and hopefully something Blizzard fixes pretty soon. I can't think of a whole lot of application to it, as it is at the bottom of your rocks. If you're actually inside the base, you could totally hide tech there, make a Dark Templar archives, or even what I'm doing now, make a missile turret and totally annoy Mutalisk harassment attempts. Yeah, but that's about all I have to say about that. Alright, thank you everyone, and goodbye.